I went on the international experience trip to Bangladesh and Vietnam that was led by Professor Mushfiq Mubarak, who's a development economist here at Yale SOM. We broke into groups of about 5, and each group was responsible for producing a video that documented our group's idea for either a business that we could take from Bangladesh or Vietnam to the United States, or an idea that we could generate and build there in Bangladesh and Vietnam. The business idea that my group came up with was to develop a project where we would incentivize people in local communities to better dispose of their human waste. Currently, many communities in Bangladesh, if they even have a place to use a latrine and have proper disposal in the short term, there's not a place in the long term where that waste can go. What often winds up happening is people will, even if they have a latrine to use, will use that latrine, but that'll be emptied into a local field or ditch or something like that, where it can still contaminate the water sources for that community. Individuals would be paid a very small fee for every kilo of human waste that they would collect and bring to receptacles. The company that we proposed would then purchase that at a low price and then make money by processing that waste and using it for fertilizer or for electricity production. We wanted to have fun with it because, I think it was reflective of our experience. It was a really good time, even though we were tackling a lot of serious issues when we were meeting with different leaders there. It was still really enjoyable, and a lot of it was just the people, my classmates, and Professor Mubarak. We just used our cell phones or cameras that had video functions and shot them as we went. And that way, hopefully the experience of the video is true to our experience there, since we had pretty much shot the videos as we were walking or driving along through the country. When I saw my other classmates' videos, it helped me realize that there were a lot of different ways to go about sort of the general problem of how do you develop communities and how do you develop businesses in those communities that can drive improvement of quality of life. So certainly, our looking on the health end was one way, looking on the training and business development was another way. Some projects touched on the issues of corruption and how to work through that in these countries. And so, all of these different ways of approaching the broader issue of how do we develop economies in Bangladesh, Vietnam, or elsewhere, just brought home the fact that it's not an easy or simple or one-dimensional task. Having this project to work on was somewhat difficult in that certainly as outsiders to these communities, we knew there were a lot of things that we didn't know. And so as we were in each place, it forced us to think about the perspective of the different people we were meeting, really soaking in every experience we had and recognizing where there might be a business opportunity in it for us as outside investors or for local people in the community. So that was a good thing, because I think it kind of forced us to take different viewpoints than our own as we were going about this trip. It also encouraged us just to ask a few more questions, or maybe ask different questions than we might have otherwise.